When I was younger, we were driving through Pasadena, California, over the Colorado Street Bridge. Halfway across the bridge, there was a girl who seemed lost. We turned around to try and help her. Um, but whenever we got back to there, she was nowhere to be found, and she could not ran through either way of ran to either side of the bridge. Um, Later, whenever we were talking about it, we were told that it could have possibly been one of the spirits who had jumped to their death previously. Um, in the early 1900s, over 100 people have jumped from there to their death, naming it the Suicide Bridge. That's how I became interested in urban legends and myths. They are they help explain certain phenomena in safe environments. Some are used to remind people to keep a good set of morals, and um, others for men and women to be faithful and always keep children safe. Most of these stories will always, most of these stories end in a gruesome death. It's possible to tell when most of these are false, or most likely false, whenever they start with James's cousins, next door's neighbor's uncle, or anything like that, to stories like the yellow curtains, black curtains, and the red piano, where events are too outlandish even for a legend, where black curtains come and strangle people. The most common stories are being told are ghost stories. People die and roam the world, roam the land, trying to get revenge. Others will repeat how they died forever, and very few are helpful spirits trying to keep people from sharing their same fate. One a few examples would be the vanishing hitchhiker, which is seen through most of North America, where people will try and pick someone up and they'll end up disappearing, or they'll run across the road and almost be hit. It's a lot. Also, my favorite kind of creatures would be my favorite stories are creatures they're told to explain encounters with creatures with unnatural features, and they are in all sorts of sizes. Their stories grow after mistaking an animal for something more terrifying. These normally happen late at night, wait early in the morning. um, the most popular examples would be the Mothman of West Virginia, the Skunk Man of Florida, or we all know stories of the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Abominable Snowman. These are all within that same sort of category. Human hybrids. While these stories could fit into the previous one, I thought they do deserve some sort of exemption, since a lot of these stories involve creatures who can appear as humans or even transform from human to different animals. They're either told for pure entertainment or to explain entities with extremely bizarre features. One of the most one well-known ones that I've heard about would be the crocodile man of Florida, a man with crocodile-like features who roams around the southern part of the state of Florida, or mermaids, which are told world round, who drag people underwater and lead them to a gruesome death. Chainmail's stories pretty much have explained different situations to a large that happen to a large number of people, either getting sick or dying in odd or bizarre ways. Um, most Basically, if it says that it'll come, people come in certain contact with a creature or an item, they're gonna die immediately after. Um, but these are from like lighthearted stories to like all you see on Facebook. Share this and you'll get riches tomorrow, or you'll have good luck for the rest of the week, or a painting that kills everyone involved around it. And um, the next one would be stories of the devil. This, there aren't too much from what I've seen that relate around the devil, but there is a fair share. These normally will be ones that involve sitting, like gambling and drinking, or captivates women. Um, the two of the most famous ones are the devil's chair, which will a lot of graveyards have a seat for the devil, and if you sit in it close to midnight, he will whisper evil deeds into your ear. or the devil will apparently goes to dance halls and captivates women. The gates of hell are there's only a few stories, but they are interesting. But it happens in very bizarre places. There doesn't seem to be any sort of correlation. There's one in Siberia. There's one. There was a story of a, in Japan with someone believing they have the gates to hell in their backyard, um, and they would uh, take different people, take people, quarter them by using oxen, and soak rope in their blood, and that would apparently close it. I thought that was interesting. The Seven Gates of Helen Township is one of those as well. Um, then we have internet-born legends. They are normally referred to as creepypastas. Users created stories and that end up being passed around, and eventually people forget that they are just that, user created, and they end up becoming legends. They're mainly for entertainment's sake, nothing more. The most famous one would be Slender Man. The most famous one, where he would kidnap children, and he's like, what was the story? Like 8 foot tall, I believe. Um, then there's Jeff the Killer, the Rake. There are so many, but these everyone everyone should at least know these. Then there are the psychotic people. While supposedly based on real events, these are considered legends all the same. All stories are to remind people that you can't always trust everyone that you meet. They'll meet you with good intentions, but they turn out to be cannibals or murderers. And the barber and the pastry seller is a story from Paris where the barber would kill people. He would give haircuts, send it to the pastry seller, who would make meat pies out of them. Or the bunny man, I believe, of South Carolina, who just roams the forest.